What's up guys, my name is Tom, welcome back to another video, and today we're here for another episode of my F1 2021 career mode with Haas. If you guys haven't watched the previous episode, the Canadian Grand Prix, it was an incredible race, a shock winner, spoiler alert. Make sure to check that race before you see this one. Today it's time for one of my favorite tracks on the calendar, which offers generally good racing, the Austrian Grand Prix at a Red Bull Ring. Hopefully we can be happy there, and let's see what we can do and replicate the result that we had in the previous race, which was points thanks to a crazy race and a crazy strategy. But before jumping onto the track, we have some work to do at the factory. We're going to buy a minor upgrade for the chassis and should be ready for the next episode, which is going to be one of the jewels of the calendar, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And we're going to buy an upgrade for the internal combustion engine, because durability is the thing that I really want to focus, because later on in this season, especially in the second half, grid penalties are going to come into play, and for sure that we're going to take some grid penalties, I can assure you that, but the less we take, the better it is. But as you can see, unfortunately, an engine upgrade, I think it was a minor one, unfortunately has failed, and that is really unfortunate, because a track like Austria requires a lot of straight line speed. But anyway, let's move on, and it seems that we did 6 races without changing a gearbox, so this means that we can put a new one without getting a grid penalty. So you can see that actually a gearbox durability, at least in this car, is pretty nice, so that was really interesting to see. And this shows that we don't need to buy gearbox upgrades for the durability department, so that gives me maybe a bit of relief, I don't know. But performance chart, we got closer a bit to Alfa Romeo, and you can see that Red Bull getting closer to Mercedes, and things in the midfield are starting to get closer and closer. I know that I say this in every single episode, but you can notice that the grid is starting to get closer and closer, and you know, and this second half of the season can be an incredible one. I think Mercedes is going to take the title, but next season I think is setting up to be an absolute classic. I'm already saying this on episode 7, because just on episode 7 the grid is already getting closer in the performance chart. But anyway, talking about practice, things have been excellent for us. I'm feeling so comfortable with the car, but you don't know what can happen in qualifying, because remember in the last episode at the French Grand Prix I said that I was feeling comfortable with the car during practice, but then when we got into qualifying, and the story was completely different. I completely struggled during that qualifying session. But anyway, we completed the practice session without any issue. Things are going really smoothly for us, and hopefully this time we can carry this pace into qualifying, and most importantly into the race. Generally I'm very happy at Austria, so hopefully in this season 1 of my F1 2021 career mode is not going to be an exception. So getting ready to the qualifying session, and we'll see what we can do. We can afford to do more laps around this track, because it's a short one. Open the DRS through the first corner, and Sebastian Vettel setting the fastest time. And this first lap, I always like to set a banker when it comes to the first lap. I don't give 120% already in the first lap. I always like to give, you know, 190, just to get the feel of the soft tires and the light car. But across the line is going to be a 1:4.1, and for the time being put us down in P9, so the slowest of the guys that already set a time. We're behind our rival Antonio Giovinazzi. The next lap we're going just to improve by 1/10 of a second, so this is a little bit worrying. Maybe the tires are starting to fade away a little bit, so I decided to go for another lap as we go through the second sector, and the gains are just marginal. We're not gaining that much, we're not gaining as I would wish, and that is a spin for Mas. So you know, carrying Mazepin's legacy into the game. And yeah, step a little bit on the curb. You know, the curbs in this game are unforgiving, which is completely stupid in some corners. And during the process, we managed to spoil Carlos Sainz's lap. And I think you can see now. You can see that he's dead last. So we went into the pits. We refilled the car, and this is still with the same set of tires that we set the first laps. So they are totally worn out. I'm just going out of the track to get a bit more knowledge, to see where I can gain, where I can lose, because Austria is the shortest track on the calendar, if I'm not wrong. So you can afford to do a lot of laps, because you have plenty of time. So across the line we didn't improve, which is kind of expectable. Actually we are ahead of Nicolas Latifi, and this is our penultimate lap. We have time for 2 qualifying laps, and you can see that we are already gaining 0.2 a second. Bit shaky out of turn 3. It's very tricky to get the traction right sometimes on that corner. It can settle pretty badly the rear of the car. Open the DRS, improving by 0.4 of a second, and it's P15 for the taking, behind our teammate Mick Schumacher. So at the moment both Haas cars are in to qualifying 2. However, Carlos Sainz is going to be faster, so he's going to be one of us going into the second part of qualifying. So you're going to join me for the rest of this lap to see what we can do. Brake just after the 100 brake marker. Let's see if we can get a better traction this time, and there you have it. We're already improving comparing to our previous best. DRS open, and I think we can gain a little bit in the second sector. I think we had some time left on the table, and that curve you can hit doesn't do anything to the car. Already gaining 1/10 of a second, but all the guys behind us probably are improving as well, because, you know, track evolution. And this section of the track, I think there is some time left on the table. Missed slightly the apex on that corner. You can see that we dropped a little bit of time, and the opportunities are starting to run out with just 2 corners to go if we want to improve our time. Cutting a little bit to put up the corner, I'm not gonna lie, so track limits being a little bit debatable in this game. We're not running in street corner cutting rules. Open the DRS, and unfortunately we're not going to improve in this lap. But let's see what is it going to mean. Are we into Q2? Carlos Sainz goes for fastest, so no surprise. And unfortunately, it's only P18. That is a total disappointment, and Mick Schumacher gets through to make things work, and Antonio Giovinazzi is faster than us. Oh man, that is so disappointing. Myself and Giovinazzi separated by less than 1/10 of a second. I am gutted. I was expecting to get into Q2. I think maybe I have the pace, probably not. And yeah, that is really unfortunate. So what I'm going to do, considering that this is a track that offers a lot of overtaking, has a lot of straights, I'm going to start in last in this race and take some grid penalties. We're going just to lose 2 places to the Williams cars, and with a fresh power unity, maybe we can have a slight advantage to our rivals. So hopefully this plays on our hands, and without further ado, let's go down to the track for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The fence starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Norris, Daniel Ricciardo and Leclerc, Sainz, Vettel, Stroll and Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Esteban Ocon and Perez, Mick Schumacher, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and George Russell, Latifi and Thomas. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
And here we are on the track. We're going to start in dead last, so it's going to be kind of a last question mark challenge, thanks to some great penalties, but I think this is for the best, and we're going to take advantage of the fact that Austria is a track that offers a lot of overtaking, so the damage is not going to be that big. We were going to start at the back of the field in P18 almost, you know, the damage is not that big. I wouldn't do this if we went into Q2, but anyway, strategy-wise, it's going to be a 2-stop. I was trying to see if maybe the 1-stop was an option, but I think it's not really viable at a track like this. But you can see that everyone is starting on the softs, and with the exception of some guys starting on the mediums. So it seems that everyone is going to stick to the 2-stop. We'll see what is going to happen over the course of these next 36 laps for the Austrian Grand Prix, and it's lights out, and away we go at the Red Bull Ring, and it's a decent start against the Williams cars, but not good enough to maybe overtaking one of them. So what we're going to do, we're going to sit behind these two and try to get a bit of a switch back at the exit of turn 1, side by side, the free ride between myself, George Russell and Nicola Latifi, and it seems that we have already the nose in front of the two Williams cars as we go very gingerly into turn 3. The two Alfa Romeos going side by side. I think it's still 3 wide between myself and the two Williams cars. And I think we made, yes, we did contact with George Russell. FIA giving us a warning because of that. We're still in last place. So the Williams getting really aggressive in these early stages of the race. So I'm going to get aggressive as well. Down inside we go of George Russell, if I'm not wrong. Give a bit of a squeeze to give a taste of his own medicine. And we are up into P19, second last of the field. And let's see if we can make good inroads. Like I said, in this Grand Prix we're running with a fresh power unit, so hopefully maybe they can play a bit on our hands and give us a little bit of advantage, especially on the first sector where he has a lot of straights. But you can see really close to Nicola Latifi. Side by side we go through the penultimate corner, and they have it. Nice move on the Williams, and we're already up into P18 as Max Verstappen leads the way. He started in P3 and in the space of 1 lap overtook the two Mercedes cars. So in a minute we're going to see that, but Verstappen trying to get Red Bull's first win of the season at their home Grand Prix at the Red Bull ring. But let's give it a watch to Verstappen start to see what happens. So I think it's Hamilton on no, I think it's Bottas in pole position. What a start from Max Verstappen. He completely shoots up and then run the outside we go like a hot knife on butter. And there you have it, Max Verstappen, ladies and gentlemen, taking the lead of the race in a space of, you know, 200 meters, I don't know. And then to make things better, he's going to pull away massively because the two Mercedes going at it, Hamilton versus Bottas. And at the moment, actually, who's leading the championship is Bottas, bear in mind. So Hamilton doesn't want to lose any more points to his teammate Verstappen, not really in that fight. So the Mercedes are battling like crazy. They're still going at it. And with the privilege view, I think that is Lando Norris down in P4. But anyway, we come back to our POV starting lap 3. Verstappen still leading the race. And yes, it was Lando Norris. DRS gets enabled. So this is going to make our move overtaking attempts pretty easily. However, there's a bit of a DRS strain. But hopefully that is not going to spoil our overtaking opportunities. And there you have it. Side by side we go with Kimi Räikkönen. And we're going to try to go around the outside. Räikkönen is trying to go on inside of Giovinazzi. Oh, that was really close. I was forced to take an evasive action and turn aggressively the wheel to the right. But fortunately, we didn't make contact. Had to have reflexes of a cat, let me say. And we're going to press on and see if we can overtake the other Alfa Romeo. This time our rival in the championship. At the moment, Antonio Giovinazzi, DRS open. We're going to the right hand side of the track very smoothly. Down inside we go. At the moment, we're feeling really comfortable in these soft comparative tires. So once again, I always manage to carry better race pace than qualifying pace. I don't know. Generally, I'm not really good at qualifying. But then in the races, I managed to pull something positive generally. And this is Sergio Perez. He started way down the order because he had to take some grid penalties. He's trying to go on the inside of Esteban Ocon, but they're losing a lot of momentum. Ocon still in front, but look who it is. Mick Schumacher trying to overtake the Red Bull 3 wide between these three guys. I didn't say 2 times, but anyway, that doesn't matter. Brilliant action between these two. Schumacher's in front of Perez and Ocon. This is fantastic stuff from our teammate. We're catching these guys like crazy, and Schumacher cleared Ocon, really clear Perez as they're still going at it. He's going to try to go right inside, but it's really hard considering that the car that he has. But brilliant drive from our teammate Mick Schumacher, ladies and gentlemen, proving his worth in Formula 1, showing why he is a Formula 2 world champion. That was textbook, considering that the car that he has, and I think Ocon is going really slow. So what happened to Esteban Ocon? He has damage, I don't know, but Ocon, ooh, slowing down massively, and yes, he's pulling into the pits. So probably he made, definitely made contact with one of those two guys, because turn 3 wide is going to, you're going to have contact for sure, and that is too risky unless you go 2 miles per hour or something like that. But anyway, now it's time to make an overtaking attempt on our teammate Mick Schumacher, and we'll see what he can do. He's dropping massively to Sergio Perez, but don't worry, Schumacher doesn't have any damage. I asked Jeff and he said that damage is negative, and there we go. He's going defensive, but we're going to do the switch back, and can we pull this through? Look at the traction, brilliant drive from me. That was smoother than the track at Turkey in 2020 when it was raining. And we are up into P13, I would say, but this is Valtteri Bottas. He is the first of the two stoppers pulling into the pits, and he's dressing a brand new set of mediums. So definitely these guys, without a doubt, they are going with the two stop. There's no way they're going to, you know, carry those mediums till the end of the race. Charles Leclerc pulling into the pit. So it seems that everyone is in the same boat. Maybe we can see a cheeky driver, who knows, maybe trying the one stop, but I think he's not really that viable. I don't know. And Schumacher pulls into the pits as well, and we decided to stay out one more lap. So he's trying the undercut, and the undercut gently around this track is pretty powerful. So it's hammer time. We need to press on in this in lap, and hopefully, fingers crossed that we're not going to be taken by the Mercedes. We don't want to, you know, lose time with anyone, and thankfully it doesn't happen. So, and you can see using all the track at the pit entry, stepping on the grass, and yeah, there you have it. Very good stint, starting in last place and up into P14. Let's see if it's not P14. No, I want to say we're up into P13, and hopefully we don't go down to P14 thanks to the cut of our teammates. So they have it, dressing a brand new set of medium tires. And now let's see, I think this is going to be pretty close between myself and my teammate. You can see Schumacher already behind us, and this might be pretty close between the two Haas drivers, and Schumacher gets ahead of us. So the undercut has worked for our teammate, and we have to do all over again if we want to get ahead of Mick. So we'll see what he can do. And now this is Lewis Hamilton leading the Austrian Grand Prix. So here he took the lead. Actually, this is the first time that he's taking the lead, and I don't know what has happened to Max Verstappen, but this is really unfortunate. Red Bull really needs this win, because so far they haven't none. Just to have an idea, Alpine has a win. So just see how crazy it is. Talking about Alpine, this is Fernando Alonso, the guy that took the win at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, being overtaken by Sergio Perez, and that was really close between those two. Perez was almost rubbing his nose in Alonso's gearbox, but anyway, we're going to try to re-overtake Schumacher. We already have DRS, and you can see we're gaining and gaining. Look at the slipstream, so powerful today. Are we going to try to go run inside? No, we're going on the inside because we switched in the last minute to this side of the track, and down the inside we go. Good traction, maybe a bit aggressive, I'm not gonna lie. We kind of forced Schumacher into the outside curb, so maybe a bit dirty for me. Maybe I could have been a bit more lenient, I don't know. So I'm going to try to be maybe a bit cleaner next time. But anyway, this is Fernando Alonso. He's in the two-stop. However, now he's way down the order, so I don't know what is Alonso's strategy. But now this is side by side between the veteran and the rookie, in this case our teammate, and Alonso gets through. But Schumacher might have another word to say, because he's getting a nice slipstream, and side by side they go into the first corner. Schumacher goes around the outside, and Ocon might take the pieces of this battle. This is golden for us, because we're gaining buckets of time, because these two are going side by side. It might be a free ride once again. Yes, it is. This time Perez out of fight. We have a new contestant. This time is Alonso, and I think Schumacher is going to be the biggest loser. Ocon sitting behind, so this might not be over for Schumacher, trying to retake this position on Alonso, but unfortunately he doesn't have DRS. And now running outside goes Esteban Ocon. Will he be able to pull that? Well, actually no, Schumacher defends that off, and this is the reason why Esteban Ocon once again lost his front wing. That is quite unbelievable. We're seeing a lot of front wing changes so far in this season, and this is because the AI is so aggressive in this year's game that they make contact a lot of times. They do contact several times, and you know, that is really good for us. We generally keep the things clean, we don't lose front wings, and this plays on our favor. So the AI is definitely more aggressive. However, they do more stupid things, as Alonso now goes up the inside into the first corner, but he went a bit deep. He carried too much speed into the corner, and we managed to retake that position, and Perez gets through. So Perez pulls into the pits as well and clears Schumacher, and now Alonso might come back. Run outside he goes into turn 3. I'm going to try to maybe to be a little bit more lenient, but at the same time, in a way, trying to push a little bit into the curbs, which we do so, and we maintain P11 for the time being. So we're doing a brilliant race at the moment in this house. I don't know how I'm managing to defend from these guys, but we're doing, and that's what matters. And this is Sergio Perez not having the best race at Red Bull's home race, and down inside he goes on Fernando Alonso through the long corners of the second sector. And who's going to be the biggest winner? Without a surprise, he's going to be the Red Bull of Sergio Perez. And now we have to defend from that Red Bull, but it's going to be really a challenge, because one thing is an Alpine, another thing is a Red Bull. So we'll see what we can do about it, and hopefully we can impress the guys in the paddock. However, I don't want to hold Perez that much because let's be honest, we are in a completely different race and we are in completely different cars. So here we go into the first corner. Perez is going to carry a lot of speed and now he has DRS, so we'll see how much he's going to gain. He's gaining and gaining. I'm going to try to do everything to defend his position. Down inside goes the Red Bull and I'm going to try to hold around the side, maybe try to do the switch back. No, we're going to try to hold around the side. Look at the traction that we have, and that's because Perez hit at the inside curb and you can see that car was wobbling a lot and that unsettled pretty badly the Red Bull. And now this is Max Verstappen, the other Red Bull, being overtaken by Lewis Hamilton once again. So they exchange leads and they are going up. This is a brilliant battle for the race lead, but who's leading at the moment is Valtteri Bottas. However, I think he has to stop. I'm really confused when it comes to the front runners because we've been so focused on our race. It's been an absolutely incredible race when it comes to our league, to our positions, and that we kind of got distracted from the front runners, and now Perez gets through and that should be pretty much it. Look at how much confidence he has on that Red Bull. On the other hand, we're going to have DRS available once again and we're gaining and we're going to re-overtake the Red Bull as we go into the third corner of the circuit. This is quite the story. This is quite unbelievable, and you can see that Schumacher is not dropping from this guy, so it's not just me that is doing a brilliant drive. Schumacher is doing a brilliant drive. It's a great day for Haas. I don't know if we can score points. I think it's a bit out of the cards. But nonetheless, it's being a positive day for Haas because we're challenging guys like Perez, Alonso, and you don't see that every single day. And yeah, it seems that Austria is a good track for this car, but I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to defend this position because I'm starting to run out a bit of VRS. And there comes Sergio Perez once again. I was stepping a little bit on the grass so you could see a bit of dust in the replay camera, and Perez gets through, but it gets really shaky in the penultimate corner. But I think this should be pretty much it, unless we have another chance, because now we have DRS once again. This is the beauty of Austria, and this is why Austria always offer great races. It's because the DRS is so powerful, it has a lot of straights, and this gives us the opportunities to regain these positions, even if that guy is running with a Red Bull. And they go up the inside, we go once again, and this time I get a bit shaky. I hit the inside curb and lose a bit of back end, and I think that's pretty much over. And now Perez is going to pull away, and we need to focus on Alonso. Side by side we go. Who's going to be the bravest and brakes? Basically we brake at the same time. We're going to try to give a bit of aggressive squeeze, which we do so, and actually this might help our teammate Mick Schumacher because Alonso dropped a lot, and down inside goes Schumacher, but unfortunately it's not enough. He doesn't have enough legs to make the move on the Spaniard. No surprise because yeah, it's impossible to do a move on the Haas. But bad news if you're a fan of Carlos Sainz, because he is out of the Austrian Grand Prix. His Ferrari engine coming up in smokes, and his Austrian Grand Prix comes to an early end. So this is going to be a free position, and we are up into P11 as we had a confirmation from FIA that Sainz is out of the race. Unfortunately, no safety car is going to be deployed, and we get green flags once again. So this means that Alonso can overtake us, and there he goes into the first corner and he gets through. However, it's the same story. We're going to have actually Alonso has DRS. However, we are in his slipstream, and this might not stop us to maybe retake this position, but unfortunately is a bit too far away up the road, and I think that's pretty much over. Unless I have another chance here, we're going to have DRS this time, and you can see that we're gaining. Here we go, round 2, ladies and gentlemen. Round the outside we go from the Alpine. I don't know how we're doing this, but we're doing it, and I'm loving every single second from this race. Gaining on Alonso. Let's go on the inside. He's going to try to hold around the outside, but Alonso has the better downforce, and now Alonso carries good speed by going around the outside, almost rubbing the wheels, and now we're still going at it, and Schumacher is getting close. We're trying and trying, but we're not going to do anything in the penultimate corner. We slow down a little bit because we know that we have DRS. The DRS is powerful around here. Here we go, we open the wing flap, and it seems that this is far from over, so gaining and gaining. However, we're not going to do anything in turn 1 because we lose a lot of time with each other. Alonso locks up. Alonso is cracking under pressure, and here we go. Here comes Tom. bomb on Fernando Alonso. Side by side we go, and Schumacher is starting to get closer. So this is getting serious for us. We are doing wonders in this race, but oh no, we lost a bit the back end because we got caught on the curb, and I think that's pretty much it. Let's see if we can regain on Alonso. I don't know what is going to happen, but here comes our teammate. Down inside he goes, and now I think it's definitely over, unless Schumacher can do something about it. But I think that's pretty much over. This should be the last time that we see Alonso in this race. But wow, I need to breathe. This was a hell of a battle, and now Schumacher in the same lap is pulling into the pit, so it's going to be interesting what tires Schumacher is going to carry for the rest of this race, because I am thinking to stretch a little bit these mediums and the cross line on the softest compound tires. So this can mean that we can, you know, basically push a lot in the final laps of the race. So we'll see what Schumacher is going to do in this seating the medium tires, and I think we're going to take a bit of a risk. We're going to stay out 2 laps, fit the soft tires. Probably Schumacher is going to get ahead of us, but we're going to have the tire advantage, and that can really play our favor. At the moment we are in P10, but it should be P13 once we pull into the pit. You can see the tires a little bit worn out, not surprised, because we've been pushing for the entire stint. Great stint, great battle with Alonso, great battle with Perez. I'm really happy with what we're doing at the moment. If we finish outside of the points, I don't care. It's still a positive rate for us, and this really shows that we're making good inroads in this season. This is still episode 7, and it shows that we're making good progress. But here we go, dressing a brand new set of soft tires, and there he goes, Mick Schumacher re-overtaking us once again, doing the undercut once again, and no surprise this time because we stayed up plus 2 extra laps than it was expected. But now, this is a McLaren, and this is Lando Norris. No way! Norris once again having an engine failure. The most recent race winner, Lando Norris, is not going to get 2 in 2, and it wouldn't be possible anyway because the 2 Mercedes and Verstappen are far up the road. But Norris once again getting an engine failure. At least it wasn't leading the race like it was at Canada. But anyway, Alonso gets ahead of us, and we managed to do a bit of an undercut, and now he has to overtake once again Mick, and Mick is on the medium compound tire, so I think he's not going anywhere in this race if he wants to regain some positions. And there he goes, Alonso trying to make a move on Schumacher. Schumacher defends pretty nicely around the outside, but now Alonso, thanks to the up of the DRS, is going to be an easy move from the Spaniard, and Alonso gets up into P13. Now is our time to make the move on Schumacher. We have the better traction, we have the better everything. DRS open, Schumacher has also the DRS, but he is too far up the road to try to regain the position from Alonso. He's going defensive, so he knows that we are faster. Round the outside we go, and who's going to have the better traction is going to be slightly us, so the traction difference actually is not that big. I was expecting to be a little bit larger, but anyway, here we go, side by side, the 2 teammates going at it once again in this season cleanly. You love to see it, is what I love to see in this series. 2 competitive teammates going at it, and hopefully we can have more races like that. But this is Kimi Räikkönen, and believe it or not, he's on a 1-stop, and he's running in P10. This man is an absolute legend. I don't know why he's retiring from Formula 1. Look at him! He's doing a 1-stop around Austria, and he's on the points. What a legend. However, he has a problem that is called Fernando Alonso. That is mega fast at the moment, but Räikkönen can take points for Alfa Romeo. That will be great things for the team that is trying to catch our team. But talking about now the other Alfa Romeo, Antonio Giovinazzi is performing also the 1-stop, but he's already out of the points. Run the outside we go from our rival, and that is P13. Tsunoda, I think we have the pace to overtake him. He's in the same strategy as Räikkönen, however he's on the hardest comparative tire. He's been already overtaken by Alonso, and it seems that we have some yellow flag, so it seems that someone is out of the race, and it seems that is a Ferrari. Charles Leclerc is round. He's not out of the race. He made a mistake, and now Alonso is up into P10, so this means that Räikkönen can really score points even if he gets overtaken by Alonso, and we might score points in this race. We just need to overtake Tsunoda and Räikkönen, so what a turnaround it's been, and this is the reason why the 2 Ferraris in trouble. Sainz with the DNF, and now Leclerc doing some spinella, so taking some good advices from Mattia Binotto. But this is Kimi Räikkönen being overtaken by Fernando Alonso. He is still on the points. Tsunoda is not going to catch the Alfa Romeo, so now he is up to us, ladies and gentlemen, to get pole points in this race. It's been an incredible race, and here we go on Yuki Tsunoda. Look at the dive bomb, look at the confidence that we have. Little lockup on the front right, but that that doesn't matter because we take P11 and now it's Kimi Raikkonen in P10. We can score points in this race, and this is Lewis Hamilton leading the race, pulling in the pits with 2 laps to go. What has happened to Mercedes? They have bottled again in the strategy. I don't know, maybe it was a slow puncture, I don't know, but here we go on Raikkonen. We're going to wait for the second DRS zone of the circuit, ladies and gentlemen. But what a race it's been. We started in last place, and now we are smelling the gearbox of the last point scorer on this race with 2 laps to go. I think we got this. We're going to open the DRS, overtake mode engage, and here comes Tom once again, this time on the veteran Kimi Raikkonen as we go into turn 3, and there you go. Raikkonen doesn't have any chance whatsoever against the softest comparative tire, and we are up into P10. We're going to score 1 point in this race, and you can see that I'm weaving so happy because I wasn't expecting to score points. But Valtteri Bottas wins the Austrian Grand Prix. It's a sad day for Red Bull. Verstappen had the pace to win the race, I don't know, but he got basically the start and he got the lead of the Grand Prix. But here we go, weaving left, right and center, and this is going to be one of my best performances maybe in the F1 career, carrying this car from last place to the points. Outstanding performance from us, great day for Haas. It's impossible to be happier.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here at Austria, and a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy and to stay out of trouble.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
I said in the beginning of the episode that generally Austria makes me happy, and today, thankfully, it wasn't an exception. They have it. Points. I can't believe that we got a single point. Oh boy. Commiserations first to Kimi Raikkonen. He did an incredible race, managed to, to do the one stop. He almost worked, so I give kudos to that. And yeah, but for us, we were the biggest winners. 1 point for the taking, and I couldn't be more happy. Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris definitely helped us out to score points as well from that mistake from Charles Leclerc. And Schumacher, unfortunately, I think if we stretched a little bit the mediums and fit the soft tires, I think he could have been in P11, P10 in the best case. But anyway, there you have it. Valtteri Bottas leading the championship. He extends his lead, and Lewis Hamilton overtakes Lando Norris. They're level on points actually, but Hamilton is ahead because he has more race wins. And for us, we get demoted into P15 because of Lance Stroll. I have no chance against these guys, let's be honest. And Raikkonen still with 2 points. He totally deserved to get another point. But you know, it is what it is. F1 can be cruel, but at the same time, it can give us great times like it was for us today. Constructor standings, everything stays the same with Haas in P8, and I think is where we're going to stay to the rest of this season, because now we have a huge gap to Aston Martin. But guys, there you go. What a race it was. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if new to see plenty more Formula 1 content. It really motivates me to make more. What a race it was. I can't wait for the next race. One of my favorite tracks on the calendar as well, the British Grand Prix, one of the jewels of the calendar. I'll see you guys there, but for now, take care.